Hi, everybody. We are here for the May energy update. And I got to tell you, I'm going to get right into it because I just got done meditating and I have like a whole page and a half of notes that they want me to share with you. And I'm feeling really in the mode. So, anyway, we're going to just move right into what May is all about. Now, when I talk about these things, they may not feel like they connect. They are also individual, is what I will say. In other words, yeah, they're collective, but we're really talking about the individual here too. All right, so meaning you, and thinking about how this applies to you. Again, I always tell everyone, even in my client sessions, take what resonates, toss the rest aside. All right, some of this might resonate, the rest might not. That's fine. Remember, you're here to put the puzzle of your own journey together with the puzzle pieces that you receive from yourself, from others, from the universe, etc. Okay? So I'm just going to give these to you, very personal. And then what we might do at the end here is talk about how that rolls up in the collective, what that's going to look like. Anyway, we'll just see what happens. Okay. The very first thing they brought through to me was holding the line, holding the line, holding the line. And again, this was in my meditation, so this is probably going to be a very different energy update. But holding the line, and I did get visuals in some of these things, is what they showed me with this one is, okay. And remember, I just got the words and then I kind of move on. They just explained this to me. They're like, holding the line for yourself, and they were very much showing a collective holding the line. In other words, like acting as an energetic barrier is what I kept getting, and also for this way forward. Oh, I see. It's the advancement team, like the okay, that's the advanced team. Oh, okay. God, we're really going to build on this. It looks like advanced team. We're the advanced team. Okay, meaning, again, I know I talked about this being individual, but I just now started with the collective. But the collective of light workers, this is why they want to explain this, is we are the advanced team, all right? They're going out into, I just heard uncharted waters, and we're holding the line, okay? We're holding the line. So yeah, military metaphors, whatever, words, but we're holding the line. And this is why they want to talk about all these other things today, which now this is making sense. Okay, so you're holding the line in your own self. When you think about this, how are you holding the line for yourself? It might be boundaries that you finally created, right? You didn't have any before, whatever the story is, right? It may be holding the line in the idea that you've had habits in the past that didn't serve, and now they're switched and changed, and you couldn't imagine doing that again, right? All those kinds of things. How are you holding the line? Continuing to move forward in those new ways of being. And remember, it's a practice process. It's not an overnight thing. There's all kinds of things. Even when we break a habit that doesn't serve us, we know that it doesn't just happen typically in one fell swoop or one day. It's a journey. Okay, and everybody has their own journey. So holding the line, very much getting this idea and the importance, they just said, the importance of the times we were in and holding the line of our own light. They just said frequency, vibration, all that you have worked for. Okay, and I think part of that is because we can be pulled back. We can feel torn now in these times when, remember, old earth, new earth, and sometimes, and I've seen it, people think they're here, and then they just kind of let go a little bit, and all of a sudden, right? So you have to be very aware, is what I would say. So anyway, holding the line. Okay, go about 10 more of these to go through that are different. Oh my heavens. Okay. So the second one that came through was the words inner peace. So not that I'm going to necessarily correlate this to the ones before, because that would take a long time to kind of do, but I think we'll be able to do some of that. The inner peace part is, as we go through this journey, that's part of what starts to happen, and is also one of, I'll just say, goals, potentially. That inner peace, that inner sense of things, right? Not the external looking at, or not the external defining how you feel, right? But the reason that's coming through now, the inner peace part, that's what's going to be also conducive to you holding the line. Like your knowing of your knowing, if that makes sense. The reinforcement of that. So this inner peace feels like in May, Oh, okay. So the inner peace is part of surrender, faith, and trust. And so the inner peace, as we begin to act upon that surrender, faith, and trust, we gain inner peace because we no longer feel we have to have control. So there's that process going on, and that's a continued thing. But they're very much talking about May, a lot of energy there with that. Could also be because, or not could be because of, but it's in alignment with our spring in the northern hemisphere. Kind of interesting, right? And like kind of the height of spring. Okay, so really continuing to focus on that inner peace and that journey, I guess I would just say to inner peace, which encompasses a whole lot of things, right? But being able to draw on that and feel that. Okay, so then they came up with the words drawing the line. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is interesting. They said many still have a lot of work to do on where they allow others to cross the line or the buck stops here kind of thing, right? Okay, wavering boundaries. Wavering, this is so interesting. They're talking with yourself. With yourself, drawing the line with yourself. No, it's an inner struggle and battle of kind of the things that we do that don't serve us, that we feel obligated to. And sometimes, I got to tell you, we don't know what we don't know. We think we've done it, and then there's so much more. There's so much more. And I feel, I've noticed this, is as we become more mature in this journey, and we understand how to do our work in many ways, right? More, it's kind of like the metaphor that I've used previously is like playing a video game and you level up. Well, yeah, you're better at the game, but you also get bigger challenges, right? So, and these are more nuanced. And so I do get this drawing the line of being able to, with yourself, and being able to understand what that means when you've crossed your own line. Wow, a lot of this is very individual and unique. We often think it's the external world, right? But this is really drawing not so much the line of with others and the external world, although we talk a lot about that. That's actually very accurate as well, but I keep getting the drawing the line with yourself. So what I would say to you is, what does that mean for you? Where haven't you drawn the line with yourself? Like, for example, our ego wants to do X, Y, and Z. And how often do we just do that and not even recognize that's our ego, but it doesn't really serve us. It's just what we've always done. So it's that inner part of drawing the line. Anyway, hope that's makes sense. And again, what I would ask on all of this for each of you is just reflect on each of these and what these mean for you. And of course, feel free to share in the comments. Oh my gosh, I love when you guys share because we all learn from each other. We do. Anything you feel comfortable sharing that's going to, share your opinion and belief or understanding of this journey and your experiences most particularly are so helpful because you don't know who's going to see this down the road. There's so many people waking up. They might find me and then they'll see your comment from the video. So thank you for doing that when you feel called to it. Okay, back to we're only on the fourth one. I think I'm going to do all these. We'll see. Some of them may combine. All right, so okay, I just got the next one. The fourth one was your sovereignty. Play your sovereignty. Play your sovereignty. Now, I don't know what that means right now. As I'm sitting here, I'm just going to see if I can get more information. Sovereignty. So remember, this came in my meditation, and I just yelled to Siri to make a note, which she'll probably pop up. I just asked her and made notes, and that's what I'm reading off of. So sovereignty. Play your sovereignty. Okay, they're talking about the new unique being that you are. And again, this goes back to creating who you are by stripping away the things that don't serve, that aren't of your nature, that aren't of your highest nature, they just said. So your sovereignty, your divine sovereignty. Okay, now that play your divine sovereignty. Okay, now that's making sense. So how are you, and I'm not here to explain it, but in some ways I kind of want to give you like some context to what, and they'll probably give us more information. So playing to your divine sovereignty. And they just said no one can take that away from you. How are you going to play your divine sovereignty? How is it going to show up, right? How are you going to play your divine sovereignty? What does that mean for you as an individual? This is a very individual month, but it doesn't mean we're not with others. I don't want you to take that from it. It's very much focused on what you have become, what you are becoming, because that's what's going to impact the collective. Okay, so that's really how is your divine sovereignty going to be expressed, again, to yourself, and then potentially, how does that show up? Obviously, then to the outer world. But this isn't about what you do for the outer world. Because think about it. Lightworkers, we've been doing, oh my gosh, like a lot of us have been through a slog, and we know that we're doing collective work, right? We're all doing collective work, but in a way that is different for everybody, and you might not even see it, know it. But the point is this is this divine sovereignty for you. Do you remember, I think it was this last April energy update, I was feeling like, or I don't know if it was the energy update or not, but that we were, I think it was that we were exhausted, frontliners, exhausted. So now that was, I think, in April, and you know, the whole geese metaphor, now this is coming back to me, the geese metaphor of the new leaders coming in to give us a reprieve. So now here we are able to really kind of be that sovereign divine self and be able to focus on, because we were tired, right? Be able to focus on that part of us, but in a way that gives us a bit of a reprieve. Kind of like we're going into a retreat. You're going into a personal retreat, right? After having been out in the front lines as such, right? So you're going into a spa-like environment. I wish it really was like that. We need to have those down the road. I have a whole new vision for the world, by the way. And a lot of that includes massages, regular basis. Anyway, spas for us all. Okay, anyway. So no wonder May, my point in this long-winded way of explaining it, my point in May is that it's individual, because we were talking about being exhausted in April, and now they're talking about individual. Okay, at least for these parts. Okay, so the other thing, this is so bizarre. They showed me Cinderella. And they talked about the stroke of midnight. They actually said stroke of midnight first, and then I saw Cinderella in the shoe. And that's all I put down, and I'm like, what in the world does that have anything to do with? So for grins and giggles, I decided to just look up the metaphor of Cinderella. One of the options that stood out more than it's only one I read, because that's all I needed. Check this out. Someone who rises from obscurity to fame, success, after a period of neglect or hardship. Okay, so think about this. This is all energetic, right? I'm not talking about your human life, right? Now, yeah, that may play out. I don't know. But we're talking about the energetic soul part of you, the light worker part of you. Someone who rises from obscurity. You're the common human. They've always said that this awakening and ascension journey this wave is coming from the common human, okay? To fame, success, after a period of neglect and hardship. So this fame and success is that we are moving in that direction as a collective. We are making huge inroads. And after a period of neglect or hardship, well, I mean, do I even have to debate that with you? So I just thought that was the coolest thing that happened. So Cinderella. It's Cinderella. They kept bringing that in. And stroke of midnight. So it's interesting, the stroke of midnight. Okay, when I'm also getting on this Cinderella stroke of midnight part is her magical time ended. But then she rose from that back, right? That's the spiritual journey. You have to go back into it. Once you're aware, you have to go back into it, and then you consciously start working through it and understanding it. It's that knock on the head kind of thing. And then midnight comes, right? Well, the midnight already came. That's the work we do. And then down the road, she becomes a princess. Think about that. That's a spiritual awakening journey if I've ever heard of it. I would never expected this. It's the funniest thing, because when they said Cinderella to me, I was like, oh no, what's this? I still didn't get it until we just sat here. Okay, well, like I say, take it for what it's worth, because I'm telling you, this is a really interesting channeling. Okay. They also said we have a growing awareness, and then they said the veil. The veil. Oh, they just said seeing through more fully. Seeing through more fully. Growing awareness. Oh, okay. They just said we'll continue to shred the veil. So there's a really, individually we're all in a little bit different places, I realize. But when one does the work, it affects the next. So that's why we're, growing awareness, the veil. Okay, so it doesn't mean you're growing in your awareness of the veil. But because of the growing awareness, the veil is thinning, if that makes sense. Okay, to the point where it, like right now on many, it's light workers, it's looking very almost shredded. Shredded. That's interesting. It almost feels like computer code that they're showing me. That's weird. Like down, like numbers moving. I don't know what that means. That takes us to another place. Computer code or something. Okay, anyway. Oh, wow. So we are more of a growing awareness of that veil. And, I think what they're trying to explain is the matrix. And that's a collective thing too, but it's also can be within our own, obviously, because we're part of the collective. But we have a growing awareness, and it's not one of those like, kind of things. We're just aware. We're aware. And that veil is very much thinning. I think y'all know that, but they are showing that to me too. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, this one was bizarre. I love this. And of course, the thing that kills me is I'm having to get more information as I tell you, because I didn't do that, of course. That's not what these are about. I tried to channel in front of you, right? Okay. And I didn't expect this in my meditation. So they showed a baseball game or a softball game, but there's a girl at home plate. But this is a co-ed thing, is what I was getting. But all I could see was her in her long hair, and she's a catcher with the whole full catching thing. And she's catching the ball, catching the ball, catching the ball. But what I got was this is a representation of the divine feminine, not male, female kind of thing. She was catching the ball for the masculine. And remember, we both have masculine and feminine in it. So okay, now they're talking about the face guard that a catcher wears, protective gear. Oh, no longer needing. Okay, so she's ripping off the catcher's face guard, and she's catching now. She's just catching. Okay, this is the balance of divine feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine rising. Ooh, no wonder there was a face guard on, right? Okay, so the face guard, think about the eons of oppression the feminine has had, right? No wonder we're out of balance, male and female, right? In each of us. So that protective gear is from all those times. And so now what she does is she's ripping her gear off and she's catching. Catching. All right. I know these are kind of trippy and they're very detailed, and I think we could go into a whole lot more detail, but just want you to be aware of these. So the girl catching at the home plate is a significant masculine feminine balance part, right brain left brain part. Where are you imbalanced? This is what they're talking about now too. Okay, this is what they're talking about too. All right, so balancing that masculine, that feminine, what does that mean for you? What does that look like for you? But that's interesting. I would not have expected that to come from the girl catcher I saw at the home plate. Oh, I just heard working in favor of the masculine, and that's why she's catching the ball too. That's interesting. Well, that's unfortunate. I can't read that. This is what happens sometimes. I'll see if I can figure that out. I also got the word resilience. Okay, so we're in times where... Okay, they just said resilience will be your gift in times to come. Swaying with the winds, yet still knowing which way is north, south, east, and west. What is your true north? Resilience. Coming back home. They just showed home plate on... Oh, that's what they'd said earlier, home plate, when they gave the catcher reference. Girl catcher at home plate. Okay, so this gets trippy, right? So this idea of resilience, I keep getting being able to pick up the pieces. Yeah, you're just moving forward. Things that occur, we're like, oh, well, that broke. Okay, I'll pick up the pieces and I'll take them with me. Kind of idea. All right, taking the broken pieces, understanding them, putting them back together in a different form. So this resilience idea, what I keep getting, okay, now they're showing the collective. Oh, they're showing one of those punching clowns. Man, they got a lot of metaphors today. Punching clowns, those plastic ones you punch when you were a kid and they go down and they come back up. That's what they keep showing. We have resilience. That's what they're showing. We have resilience individually and what occurs with us. A lot of people are going through a lot of struggle right now. And I will say, even in the light worker community, we're all at different stages of this and we all have different stuff to deal with. And it can be so trying, right? So trying. But resilience is key. And you will do it. You will do it. You will have that resilience in your journey forward. All right, so, and they're also wanting you, with respect to resilience, to understand. Okay, they just said that we're paving a new way forward, one that has never seen its likes in times past. So I know we don't have perspective on this at all, but just know what you're doing has not been done before. Okay? And what you're doing each day, even though you think, well, I don't think it matters. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Okay, so this is kind of weird. They said your intention, your intention. And then they showed somebody training a dog or a puppy. So what I started to get out of this as I was meditating, and I'm going to get more now here. Your intention that you have, they just said in these new times, meaning as we've awakened, your intentions, saying multiple, your intentions, it takes training. Okay, it takes training in the sense of shifting your priorities, your understanding of the journey, and what works for you and what doesn't. And this is like the overarching intention of your journey. Your intention. It's like a training. This makes so much sense because we're new at this, right? This intention, this new way of setting our path forward. And this isn't like a goal. This isn't, setting goals. This is like a spiritual intention. And it's a practiced effort. Oh, that's why. See, sometimes it takes a bit. When you train a puppy, it takes time. It's patience. That's this journey. What's your intention, your spiritual intention? And then embodying that intention takes time. It's training. We're retraining ourselves. I have two more. Oh, okay. They just said, where are you a result of your influences? I thought that was interesting. And I thought, okay. Like the result of your influences. How are you the result of your influences? That's a real study, right? Aren't we all still, even though we think, oh, well, I don't think we have any clue, the granular level that our influences are still with us, even though we can sit here and say, man, I have really drawn boundaries. I've changed my habits. I mean, I know there's all these nitty things that are still holding us in, and we're continuing to work on those. And what I do get, though, is that's kind of interesting, is not that everyone will have to identify this each to their own in these kinds of things. They will start to break down collectively because of the work everybody else has done. So there's that influence. As we've always talked about, we're magnetic, right? So the result of your influences, some of these things that we don't even understand and know, will start to just move away from us because of the collective work that's being done, the collective light work that's being done. And then they ended it. And they said, I think this may be the icing on the cake. This will all purify you. Now, mind you, I didn't have any understanding of how any of this was connected because I was meditating. But they said, this will all purify you. This will purify you. This will purify you. And I think this is this month where it's like we're in retreat. Again, doesn't mean we don't go to work, we don't do things, we don't do the things, right? But we may not do all the things. And it doesn't mean we're not doing our spiritual work, but we're going to know when we call it. I think May is going to be a very different feeling month. God, I wish I don't know if you guys think about it and you want, let me know how you are in a month. Or in one of the videos, maybe the next one. I don't know, because I'll probably forget what I said and not even remember mentioning it. But this will purify you. This will all purify you. It will continue. And this is this month of, and it doesn't mean things are going to be simple. We know we always have stuff that we're working on. Always. Always. But there's something about in retreat. Think how individual this message was for the month of May. That's what we're seeing. This is very individual to light workers and what we're talking about. Not, what is happening out in the external world and what's going to happen. Now, that said, I usually try to give you a sense of things. You know what they just said? And we kind of know this for the next few years, or at least 2, I'm getting. When I even proposed that, after I said that out loud, I heard, "You think the chaos ends here?" And they're kind of laughing. Because we've just kind of started that part, like this chaotic breakaway. It's like that. Now they're giving me the visual of, in a cartoon when the 2 little cartoons have a tussle or a little fight, how the smoke does its thing. I think that's exactly what they're showing me. That's where we're at collectively. Don't try to go figure it out, because that's not what you're here to do. You're here to work on yourself. That will then affect the collective. They just said chaos reigns. And that is the case, definitely. So let's just see if I can get something else here. Honestly, everything's up for grabs. Puzzle pieces up in the air. Everything kind of showed up all at once, is what I'll just say. I don't know, is there anything we're not dealing with as a world collective? I mean, seriously, name it. I mean, I don't know. It's all coming up to the surface. It's like a big collective vomiting. And that purge has to happen in order for us, I just heard, to see the light. So you can just expect more of that. It's not like turning a blind eye, but it's very much about selective listening and watching all of that. But this part for May is a big deal. So what I would say to you is, honestly, I would go back to each of these, because we're in a time now where this also matters so much. And maybe I should have probably said this earlier, write these all down. Write these all down first, because I should have told you that. But then you can go back and go, wait a minute, how does this, or does it, reflect in my own journey? What can I learn from this? What can I do differently? So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Carolyn Zaiser. I offer these channeled messages along with other kinds of channeled messages from the angelics, the light keepers, who offer this for your awakening, ascension, and your life journey. So it's guidance for your way forward. Like I always tell everybody, take what resonates, toss the rest aside. But hopefully you got a nugget of something that will help you on your journey forward for the month of May and further. Again, if you'd like to work with me individually, I offer channeled messages sessions, Zoom, on the phone, or I just channel for 50 minutes for you and send you an audio recording. Additionally, I do spiritual awakening mentoring, where you can work with me one-on-one. That's what most people end up doing, at least on a monthly basis, if not more. And we work together through the journey that you're on, past, present, and future. So I channel in all of that and also offer information just like I do in these videos. So with that today, I hope you have a wonderful May. Oh my gosh, really interesting how this is going to play out. And as it progresses, I will most assuredly keep you posted in my own journey, because when things do happen, if they do, I usually am like a barometer oftentimes for what's coming or what has been suggested. So that said, all right, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful May. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.